This woman is simply framed out of the sky. It is called the Ashes of the Scum Girl. She used her beautiful face and her beautiful body to charm the men. After successfully marrying into a wealthy family, she revealed her true form. She sent her husband to a psychiatric hospital with her own hands. And this is just the tip of the iceberg in her plan. The man named Jack is handsome, rich and successful. After discovering that his beautiful wife was cheating on him, he did not hesitate to file for divorce. Back to being a golden bachelor, Jack was recommended by his friends. Half-heartedly participate in a variety of dating bureau. A variety of older women who saw him all rushed forward. Look at the woman's mouth cannot stop smiling to know how popular such a Jack. Probably at that moment the sister even thought of the name of the child. Faced with such a magical laughter, Jack can only keep tactically back. Only want to escape, he accidentally bumped into the beauty behind him. Red wine was also spilled all over each other. The beauty in red cursed and turned away in a rage. Although not even have the opportunity to explain. But at least it got rid of the big sister's pestering. A few days later Jack ran into the beauty again in the supermarket. At first he did not recognize her in a different dress. The pretty girl called herself Jenny to apologize to Jack for the last time at the reception. Before and after the difference between the appearance of Jack instantly interested in Jenny. He unconsciously went after her quickly and introduced himself. Jenny's smile directly into his heart. After that, he could not take his eyes off Jenny. After chasing her to the cashier, they had dinner together. From Jenny's confessions, Jack began to slowly understand the woman in front of him. She had just returned from studying in Japan. Her ability is outstanding only because she refused the subterfuge of her superiors in retaliation for being banned from the industry. Jack's desire to protect her was suddenly heightened by her words. This is such a simple and kind woman. After dinner, Jack drops Jenny off at her apartment. He wanted Jenny to come up and have a cup of coffee with him, but Jenny just smiled and whispered goodbye to him. Jack was left downstairs for a long time. The next day at work, he called his friend Norman, who was known as a know-it-all, asked to get all the information about Jenny within 24 hours. Unfortunately, Norman was unable to find any information. It was as if Jenny had appeared out of nowhere. This makes Jack so mysterious. Jenny added a little more interest. He waited under her house to try to have a so-called chance encounter. However, the scene Jack did not want to see happened. Jenny and a man appeared arm in arm, parting with a passionate kiss. It is clear that the relationship between the two is not ordinary, but Jenny said yesterday that she was single. In order to solve the mystery of Jack decided to ring her doorbell. After a brief introduction, Jenny readily opened the door for him. Just after a shower, Jenny has a kind of indescribable charm. Jack opened the door to find out about her relationship with the man downstairs. Jenny bluntly said that he was a gay man and his best friend, and a shy face to Jack confessed his love. This sudden surprise made Jack directly stunned. At this moment he decided to swear sovereignty directly to Jenny's body. This man is blessed. It was only the third time we met. The goddess of his dreams offered 10 minutes of poker. Everything was a perfect match. Jack felt that the gods must have favored him. It's only when Jenny is such a beautiful woman that she is sent to his bed. Sometime later Jack and Jenny got married. Watching the two of them strolling on the dance floor in a happy scene, not far from the ex-wife cannot help but show a look of envy. At the wedding, Jack introduced himself to his friends. Jenny had been cut off from her family early on because of her parents' propensity for domestic violence. The only people who were there were the two best friends. A year later their child was born. Looking around the lovely baby and beautiful wife, Jack felt that he was the happiest man in the world. That day when they were having dinner together, an older sister called Anna's name and approached Jenny. In the face of the two confused Jenny smiled and explained that her name is not Anna. You are mistaken for someone else. The elder sister half-heartedly apologized repeatedly and turned away. Jenny was not angry that this is the second time being mistaken. Maybe she is a popular face. At this moment I just want to say please give me such a popular face. One day when I came home from work, Jenny, who was on the phone, saw Jack and hung up the phone in a hurry. She claims to be a new friend she met at dance class, Debbie. The days passed. The couple's life as a couple became less harmonious. Jack always felt that his wife was a different person. Maybe it was the lack of energy. He himself is sometimes full of suspicion. Learned that the new female assistant and Jenny is the same college graduate, and also the same class. Jack rushed to ask if he knew Jenny, but the assistant had no recollection. It said that the school had a lot of things going on that year. Everyone was too busy with their studies and grades. years. The student body president also died suddenly when Jack went home and asked Jenny about it, but Jenny did not know. Look, finally Jack could not resist. She began to sneak through Jenny's bag, found a box of matches from the hotel inside. This makes Jack's suspicion of his wife increased a little. He asked Jenny if Anna was your real name. She denied it. Jack did not continue. Instead, he went to Jenny's hometown on the pretext of a business trip to inquire about him from the neighbors. They all said they didn't know her. Passing by a gas station, a scruffy mechanic immediately recognized the woman in the photo as Anna. It was his ex-girlfriend. The reason why he became like this is all because of her. As for what happened to the man does not want to talk about. Just warned Jack better not trust this pillow man. With his guidance, Jack learns Jenny's real name and the home address of her parents. Looking for this information, Jack knocked on his parents' door, although he had never met them before, but they recognized Jack immediately. The warmth of his appearance did not indicate any tendency to domestic violence. The parents told Jack that their daughter had claimed in a letter that Jack was working for the CIA and was not available to meet, to force Jenny to tell the truth. Jack did not reveal it. Instead, he took the parents directly to his home. The moment he opened the door and saw his parents, Jenny's eyes could not stop the panic. But soon Jenny gave her own explanation, claimed that she was not born. In order to escape from the poor living environment, she changed her name and came to the big city to start a new life. The reason she kept it from Jack was because she was afraid he would dislike her parents, dislike her family of origin. Jack believed Jenny's words when she tried to talk him into it. He felt that he loved his wife as a person, so he shouldn't care about her past either. And so the couple made up. But what Jack didn't know was, Jenny is playing a big game. If this woman is sleeping right next to you, you must feel like you saved the galaxy in a previous life to be so lucky. Jack also had the same thought as you, but gradually he discovered more and more secrets about his wife. Now 4 years have passed since they met. The couple has managed to move from a family of 3 to a family of 4. In the eyes of outsiders, Jack is the winner of life, but Jenny is always on the phone, and the name of Debbie's best friend in the past few years they have never seen once, especially the inexplicable bruises on Jenny's body. Jack could not help but suspect his wife must have planted a large green meadow for himself. Faced with his questioning, Jenny can always easily make him from justified to unreasonable. And then it was over. Until this day, Jack immediately recognized the new secretary at the company. He had been at his and Jenny's wedding 4 years earlier. Under his pressure, the girl had to tell the truth. It was Jenny who paid her to play along. In the face of the evidence presented by Jack this time, Jenny confessed that she had fallen in love with her when she was not divorced. When Jack found out she was divorced, he paid Norman to show up at the party on purpose. This is how Jack was attracted to her. The last vestiges of Jack's trust in his wife are completely shattered. He doesn't know what's real and what's not. With the guidance of his friend Larry, Jack can only reluctantly continue the marriage for the sake of the children to try to forgive his wife. But that day Jack received a new credit card bill from Jenny. It showed that Jenny had been going to the hotel every Wednesday. What good woman would go to a hotel so often behind her husband's back? Jack suddenly felt completely green. He rushed home and gave Jenny a slap on the wrist. So the evidence was overwhelming. Jenny also stopped denying and confessed everything. Before the two were married, she had been with this man in private. The so-called best friend Debbie is also just a person made up by Jenny. Jenny provocatively described all sorts of unpleasant images. Jack could not stand it anymore and rushed out of the house in anger. On the way, he suddenly thought of his friend Norman every Wednesday to play golf. Combined with his own and Jenny's acquaintance. It was also Norman's hasty matchmaking. When the realization came to Jack returned home, the house was a mess, and Jenny's psychiatrist also appeared at home. Angry at Jack for hurting Jenny has made her unbearable. Before Jack could understand the situation, several police officers quickly took control of Jack, and Jenny appeared in front of the crowd with a bruised face. It turns out that Jenny called the police to claim that Jack was violent and mental problems. Poor Jack was thus put in a mental hospital. It was time for the hearing. Jack, who thought he could win, but the evidence prepared by his wife Jenny was blinded. The photos of bruises on various parts of the body made Jack convicted of domestic violence. Jack insisted he hadn't hit her that hard, but the judge didn't want to hear it. Norman testified with letters from his golf buddies. This is to prove that he did go to play every Wednesday. It was also revealed that Jack had hit his ex-wife when they broke up. Not only that, Jenny also hired a group of actors to play the character of Debbie perfectly. The perfect description of the layout of Jack's home. let him question the group acting of this strange woman does not stand up. As for the crucial bill, Jenny claims she used the credit card once or twice before accidentally losing. The hotel manager can prove the person who used the card was not himself. The evidence provided by Jack's side was all perfectly rejected. He began to lose his temper. The hearing was a big deal. Everyone was convinced that this man was a psychopath. After losing the case, Jack was completely abandoned in an insane asylum. But he soon thought of a loophole, called in the wife of another good friend, Larry. It was presumed that it was Larry who had actually hooked up with Jenny to transfer his assets. Larry's wife also thought that not long ago Larry did buy a house in New York. With the couple's financial strength is not possible. So Jack's speculation is not unreasonable. In order to settle this pair of dogs once and for all, Larry's wife deliberately called Jenny according to Jack's plan, claiming that Jack had forgotten to tell him something. Jack paid off the patient. When Jenny came to him, he deliberately distracted security. Jenny is curious about what Jack has forgotten when the game is over. Jack made sure no one was around, choked Jenny hard. The thing he forgot to tell her was, since he had been diagnosed with mental illness, so there is no legal responsibility for breaking the law. And so Jenny died at the hands of Jack because of her own greed. This is a suspenseful drama film released in 1993. Serpent Lover. The female lead is as beautiful as a flower. Icy Yulian. The first half of the plot. She did not really show the teeth of the hideous. Even if you know what the title refers to, it is difficult to imagine how bad she really is. Greed for money and willing to give up all existing happiness is the biggest psychosis. Well, that's it for today's video. See you next time.